Why we should... Why? Hi guys, it's Eric.
And Adam.
And welcome to McHusbands Friday Love. Brought to you by McHusbands.
Yes.
Yes. No, but seriously, today we have an important topic that we want to discuss.
Genders and sexes and roles and stereotypes and all this stuff. And so we wanted to talk about it today.
When you get into topic of gay and homosexuality and how they act and how they're portrayed, it puts things in perspective of how people view still homosexuality and being gay and what that means.
My mom and dad had flown in from Missouri to spend Christmas with us. And on their last night here, my mom had randomly asked me questions about high school crushes with boys and all this stuff. And then I responded asking her, like, oh, did you know back then, or you are just realizing it now? Like, what brought up these questions? She was like, oh, I was just wondering. And then eventually things were brought up, like, apparently I act more feminine now. And how some relatives picked up on it too, I guess. And I don't know if they thought of it as a negative thing, but my mom was kind of saying like, oh, I don't like how you act more feminine nowadays. And it was just this negative tone to it. And this isn't me throwing my mom under the bus at all. It was just something that struck up conversation between Eric and I.
I'm glad I wasn't there.
Yeah, you probably would have gotten on the defense.
And I don't think that's necessarily feminine. I think it's more eccentric. I think it's more just free. It's more of an in touch with yourself a little more.
Well, I have always thought myself as very like campy and theatrical. I just view me as me. If I'm feminine, compared to Eric, I view myself as feminine because I'm just me. And so, yeah, but her saying those comments almost made me want to camp it up even more, as like in spite of, I guess, just because. And I had told her after she said those comments, I was like, well, I spent so much of my life kind of hindering myself because I thought that's what I was supposed to do and what I needed to do to live. And yeah, and so I was like, well, I'm the happiest I've ever been now, so why would I hinder myself now? And if me being happy means I'm going to be completely ridiculous and do whatever,
so that's what I don't understand. Like, doing this and like this, I don't see all girls who are feminine doing this all the time. So how is that related to being feminine? That's how I don't understand.
What are you talking
people are
about?
Like, you're so feminine. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Every
like,
girl at the mall walks around like this.
voguing. They're like,
yes.
But you know what I mean?
Well,
so
I think
that word always just bothers me when in relation to homosexuality and being feminine.
I think what it is there's a very like set masculine behavior, and anything that isn't that behavior is seen as feminine. I mean,
look at all those ladies out there. She's just putting them down by saying you're acting feminine.
Like it's a bad thing.
It's like
that Madonna song, What It Feels Like for a Girl. At the beginning, the dialogue, it's like, oh, it's like, no holds barred. This is Madonna, I should know this. Mm-hmm. Girls can wear jeans and cut their hair short because being a boy is okay. Something along those lines. But if boys wear skirts, it's seen as a negative thing because you think that being a girl is degrading. Mm. That's not word for word. I know that's not word for word. But it's that mentality. It's like, why is being feminine a negative thing? Because what's that quote? Those that mind don't matter and those that matter don't mind. But my mom matters and she minds. So some people break. Whatever. Yeah. I don't know, it might be a parental thing, like a mother thing, like you still want your kid to be safe.
My mom even does that sometimes, where she says certain things and it comes off very, like, I get defensive almost at certain things that she says. But it's true. I think it's a parental thing. I think it's just her being a mom and wanting the best for us as her kids and wanting us to be safe, wanting us to make sure that we're, shielded from the cruelties of this world, especially my mom, who lives in Texas, and, your parents live in Missouri. And so when they're not used to, having the homosexuality around them, as we are living in LA, they are a little more fearful of our surroundings and what can happen, because they hear on the news of, like, the shootings and the beatings and the hate.
I think, though, that, like, imagine a group of people walking down the street, and imagine someone strutting and voguing as they walk down the street in a crowd of people that are just walking. Like, anyone that's over the top, like, anything that draws attention to yourself, like, that, I think that's the parental thing that's like, oh, you're going to draw attention to yourself and it might be negative attention.
The world's your runway. I mean, everywhere you walk, it's like you're running. Yes, you. We're in the mall and he's like walking 5 feet ahead of me, because he always does, because he has long legs and he's 6'2". But it's like you are literally walking on a runway. Like, your hips are going, your shoulders are
I don't purposely walk a certain way, but a few people say that I strut when I walk, but my feet go completely in front of one another.
He is Carrie.
And I've probably watched way too many, every season of America's Next Top Model, and I guess I trained myself to walk one foot in front of the other, and it makes my hips go like, whatever. I just walk, okay? Yeah, anyways. And I think another thing too is I've always been very, very intrigued and attracted to androgyny and kind of like bending gender roles and all that.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
You have.
There was a guy...
always, like America's Next Top Model, he's always attracted to the girl who is slightly
more masculine.
There's haircuts.
There's a girl on the current season of America's Next Top Model, Kyle, and she's gorgeous and she's so cool. She's really so cool, and like, she is beautiful.
Yeah.
But she looks like a really pretty guy. I'm like, you are freaking amazing. Like, she's so cool though. And there was a guy in some boy band on X Factor 7 years ago in the UK, and he had this like pitch black hair that was like all the way down, and he sang extremely high, and I was just mesmerized by him. I'm like, oh, you were like unlike anything, and you stick out like a sore thumb in that group of like boy band boys. And I'm just like mesmerized.
You see it on all these shows, and people are accepting them and voting for them, but yet when it comes to like everyday life, to have it like in their lives and up close, it's like, oh, well, no, I can see it on the TV, but
I think it's
up
like
close. It's a little too close for comfort.
It's part of the fantasy. People are okay with it being a fantasy, but when it's reality, people are like, oh my god, I wasn't ready for this. I'm not.
So interesting.
It just brought on a lot of conversation, and
we wanted to bring it up to you guys just because we wanted to know your thoughts on it.
They might all be like, they're overreacting. They're like crazy.
Right. That's our video for today.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you have things to say, please comment down below. Let us know what you're thinking. If you guys have a topic of conversation that you want us to discuss, that you feel is necessary, and that you just want some answers to, please let us know as well. But make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you soon. 3,